Hi guys, well I'm back with our life. This is step two. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. Why is it not changing? From the top of the hill you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. Alright, so I've got to pick one of these. You've always loved the ocean. It was so much fun. You loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and sea serpents. You imagined living far beneath the waves. You didn't enjoy the beach at all that much, especially the sand, which got absolutely everywhere. Well, I love the beach, so I'm going to pick this top one. Sometimes Lizzie would join you, the two of you splashing each other in the waves. Those were the best days. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. There was a boy sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you'd found a deer in the wild. Though deer didn't have. Okay, green hair, wavy eyebrows, huge glasses, pink casts, and sad frowns. Oh, which one? I'm going to put green hair. But this new boy did. Right, skip. You watched as it fluttered softly around his face in the breeze. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another. And then he glanced your way. Oh, the side eye. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Hi. Hi, Space Cadet. Are you lost? I'm just going to say hi. With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling into fists at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks, and his knees soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cove? Ah. Eyes wide, he studied you. How'd you know that? I met your dad. I'm all-knowing. Lucky guess. I'm just going to be honest. I met your dad, Cove.
Oh.
Oh. So is this your hill? I'm not very good at the voices. I probably should have used the voiceover thing. Okay. He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. Yep, you can't own a hill. You shook your head. I'm going to say you can't own a hill, but you can. I'm just going to shake my head. While doing so, you also picked at a strand of lint on your leg. What a weird question to ask someone. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it travelled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? Why'd your family move? I'm going to ask, why are you here? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Almost like they had never stopped, his tear started up again with a vengeance. Oh, I made him cry. My parents. They don't want to live together with me anymore. Oh, poor Cove. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mum made my dad leave, and he took me with him, and now we have a house here, and I want to go home. Bless him. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mum. Well, what the fuck do I say to that? Okay, I'm sorry. Your dad seemed kind of nice. You'll like it here, you just have to get used to it. Stop crying. Oh god, she's not very sensitive, is she? I'm just going to put, I'm sorry. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again for another long crying fit. You felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your mums, but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Sheila!
Cove?
Cove? Kids, where did you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here.
I want to go home.
I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it. You have to go. Don't worry so much. Sorry, I have to go. It will be okay. I'm going to put you have to go because, you know, he's a kid. He can't just sit there outside all night. Even if it isn't fair, he's your dad. You stood up, dusting your pants off. If he says you gotta go home, you gotta. Sorry. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm.
Sorry.
Sorry, I still don't want to go. You called out yourself. You waited silently with him. You tried to convince him. I'm going to rat you out, Cove. Sorry, but you have to go home. I mean, you can't just stay on the hillside by yourself. You're a little kid, so I'm going to dog you in, I'm afraid. Wanting to go home, you raised your own voice. Over here! Cove's face soured. He said nothing, but his thoughts were probably pretty nasty at that moment. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you, and they rushed over. Both of your mums were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Sheila, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check the cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbour. I thought you might have gone further away. No, we were just sitting in the grass. Why is everybody acting like this is such a big thing? We're okay, don't worry. Cove didn't want to go home yet. I'm just going to put Cove didn't want to go home yet. Mummy gave Cove a small smile and then she turned back to you. Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. You shrugged. Yes, I like him. Mum. Oh, not Mum. He's good. I think I'm going to marry him. I'm just going to shrug. He's new here. It was okay. Finally, letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you.
That's a relief.
Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighbourhood. Good thing Sheila knows this whole area so well. Absolutely. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove.
Bye.
Bye. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading toward the neighbourhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper playdate tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Sure, can I show him my stuff? It sounds like words. You nodded, ducking your head down. Yeah, I can show him my stuff. A little play date. Mummy, of course. Okay, so we've got a play date settled for tomorrow. Then okay. Both of your mums laughed, the sounds overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mummy put her arm around your shoulder and led you towards the path. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. My feelings for Cove. Choose your feelings for Cove. This is how you feel towards Cove for this step. It can change in later steps. Comfort, I'm going to put nervous. Comfort, I'm going to put nervous. No, I'm going to put direct actually. Interest, I'm going to put indifferent because I don't know him, he doesn't know me, blah blah blah. Right, ready. Begin step 1 Begin step 1 at direct indifference. You won't be able to change it again until step 2. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to end the video here. And, or should I? Maybe I should keep playing until I get to step 2 or 3. I'm going to keep playing. Early the next morning, you were poking at your food, eating it slowly. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you'd stayed put. I need to get some water. Today, just like your mums had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Excited to see your new friend again, Sheila? We're not friends, really.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Yeah. Haha, I don't know, am I? Your bowl wasn't entirely empty, so you nodded. I'll just put yes. With all the aspiration an 8-year-old can muster, you looked at your empty cereal bowl, then at Mum.
Okay.
Okay, attitude kid, we see. Good job, he should be here soon. Clean-up began, and then, on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Sheila, could you get it? Because Mum said so, you wandered over to the door. Hey, Bay family, thanks for having us. It's Cove's dad. Cove doesn't look very interested in this little play date. Mr. Holden, as your mums have called him, and his son were here. Cove looked different in the bright lighting of your living room, and when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of him, and Mum and Mummy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. You studied Cove apathically. I can't read that word. This was the parents' plan, not yours. Not seeming any more excited than you were, he just stood back. Right, you twisted the threaded bracelet on your wrist. You twisted the crystal bead bracelet on your wrist. Yeah, the beads. Do you want to go and play in your room, Sheila? Sure. I've got some cool stuff. Come look.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids.
See you.
See you later, son. Play nice. Okay, so we're in my room. You led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. Yeah, they're mine, my treasures. There were lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. Me too. I drew that. Thank you. I don't. I'm going to put I drew that. Cool. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. He turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the walls. You started to feel a bit nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. You hoped he liked your room. I'm going to put you hoped he liked your room. You had put a lot of effort into making your room as nice as it was. You hoped he didn't say anything bad about it. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things you'd collected, tucked away by your door. He took a step towards it, before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. I do. Look. You gestured to a piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand.
Neat.
Neat. This is a good collection. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice, or to be like Shyla. He actually meant it. I forgot about Shyla. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce that, but that's what I'm going to call her. Or him. Shyla? He's friends with my older sister, and he's supposed to hang out here this afternoon. Do I have to see him? You don't have to do anything, but he's going to be here. Anyway, I found this gigantic shell here, stuck to an even bigger rock. You pulled out seashell after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each one and holding them up against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past few years, you'd even learned some of their scientific names. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell for all of them. Your voice faltered a little bit, but you kept going as best as you could. Okay, I'm going to put this top one. Over the past few years, you'd even learned some of their scientific names. You had a whole picture book dedicated to different shells and sea life. You'd learned a lot by flipping through its pages. Apparently, fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened with what looked like the full force of his attention. It was a new experience to be the centre of such dedicated focus, even if it was only directed at the shells. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mummy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this, meeting you. You guessed it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden must be right that telling Cove his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. Before you knew it, you'd both been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Shyla's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I bought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Great. Okay, be careful. You should have asked. I'm going to put you should have asked, because he should have asked. Sorry. Fine. What's done is done. You open the lid, peering inside again. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one is the best one of them. That's my favourite too. I like a different one best. I can show it to you. You can take it. I'm going to be nice. You can take it. I'm going to let Cove take the shell. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure. You like it a lot, right? Uh-huh. But I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. You insisted. You let it go. I'm going to insist. No, it's fine. It's fine. I've got lots of shells. You can take this one. No, it's okay for you. You push the shell against Cove's chest, willing him to receive the present, but Cove firmly shook his head and kept his arms tightly at his sides. It was a battle you couldn't win. At least not today. Cove was your neighbour now. Maybe you could give it to him another time. The two of you were still sitting on the floor, looking through your collection of beach findings, when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, you figured it was probably Shyla. You knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't... Oh, my nose is going funny, sorry. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. It's just Shyla, and where would you even go? He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. Clove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward, then paused. Oh my god. Do you want to break your other arm? Shyla is the least scary person alive. Cheer up. Shyla's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea, let's go. I'm gonna put... do you want to break your other arm? Even I don't jump out of any of the windows here, and this is my house. The distance from the first floor living room wasn't far, but you could tell it made Cove nervous anyway. He touched the cast on his arm. The wind had clearly released from his sails. I don't want to break any more bones. I don't think anyone wants to. Yeah. But I don't want to see him. I don't know him. You teased him, you comforted him, you encouraged him. I'm going to encourage him. He's not bad, really. Shyla is going to be more scared of you than you are of him. Okay. Shyla poked his head into the living room. It was impossible to know for sure if he'd heard what you'd been saying or not, but you guessed that he had.
Hi.
Hi, Sheila. And hi, Cove. Cove shot you an uneasy glance.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Shyla. It's nice to meet you. Yeah. You have a lot of freckles. Oh, wrong voice. You have a lot of freckles. Ah, right, I do. What are you guys doing? We're looking at shells.
Can I do it too?
Awesome. Can I do it too? Cove shrugged, then looked back at your box of beach findings. What about that one? The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach things some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else. This is a scallop shell I found last week. I kept it because it looks neat. It's a pretty colour, kinda like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice colour. Okay.
Oh?
Is it your favourite? Not really. What is? Maybe green or blue. It might be yellow. Oh, those are all cool.
I guess.
I guess. I like those colours too. There are buttercolours. Not sure how to deal with the suddenly more awkward silence. You looked back at your shells. Yeah, I'm going to dip out of this one. I'm feeling awkward. The situation is awkward. I'm looking at my shells. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shyla to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favourite. Without her around, Shyla didn't seem to know what to do with himself. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you, either. Is Lizzie coming back? Don't know. Ah. Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach, probably. Is she playing at her park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of the park, and he looked towards you. There's a park? Yeah, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before you had even answered, and Shyla jumped up beside him in excitement. Really? You do too? Right, Sheila? The park is fun. I love it. The park is pretty great. No. Ah. I still want to go see. You do? Yeah. Like a puppy watching a ping-pong match, Shyla looked back and forth between you and Cove. So, are we going to go find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just want to check the park out. Adrift without any direction, Shyla finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. After getting permission from your mums, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your mums that it was so short she should always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie! Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Sheila! Shyla! Hi! She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Shyla had abandoned you two and scrambled over to stand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove was here. You weren't sure if this was an improvement. Who's that? It's Cove. He's new.
Hi.
I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together. She gestured widely with her arms, as if to present the area to the newcomer. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wriggle your toes around the warm sand, to wriggle your toes through the warm sand. Nice, huh? In this neighbourhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. You are?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie is the oldest. By a lot. My mum said you're Sheila's age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits. What about other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shyla is just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is a land of ancients. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth.
Oh.
Oh. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. But something in his eyes shifted, and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like mums and dads or grandparents? Grandparents who don't have kids? They hate kids. Why? We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying stuff like that. You're going to upset him. Yeah, they're really bad. I'm going to say stop saying stuff like that. You're going to upset him. You interjected quickly, hoping Cove wouldn't start crying again. He sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shyla was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. I met Lizzie and Sheila in school. You'll see tons of kids there once summer is over. I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Shyla looked down to the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up conversations with Cove. I like summer vacation a lot too. All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shyla's discomfort, at how weird she thought Cove was, at something else entirely. You didn't really know, but she laughed, face scrunching up.
Okay.
Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet and get used to it. Is right. Right, for the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. Okay, I'm going to end this here because this video has been way longer than I intended it to be, but I am really enjoying it and I'm interested in finding out what happens next. So thank you for watching.